What's up, guys? This is Bolton with Pixel Press, and today we are going to go over a little Roll20 map creation tutorial. So this is going to be pretty darn basic for first-time Roll20 users. If you're staring at the UI and you're a little bit lost and you want to kind of become more efficient in making maps, then I think we can help you out. So the things that we're going to learn about today are the various layers that you can make in a map. What these tabs mean over here, mainly this one right here, and how to navigate this lovely little page toolbar. So first things first, this is going to be kind of hands-on, so I'm going to make a map right along with you. So the first step you want to do is you want to navigate to this page toolbar. It's going to be right here, nestled up against your kind of address bar. So you want to click that, enlarge that, and just simply create new page. And then go to the new page, which will be, all these are untitled because I'm a disorganized mess. But your new one will be called Untitled. Just click it, and there you have it. So this is very similar to any erasable boards you might be playing on physically, graph paper, obviously, and it does a great job. So first things first, we want to kind of decide upon what our map is going to be. So inside building kind of structures, that's a whole nother beast. This time I'm just going to do a simple outside encounter. So let's say that we want to do a lush forest kind of oasis, or a nice little watering hole in the middle of the forest, where we might meet some will-o-wisp or something of that ilk. So the first thing that we want is to check out our layers, and we want to do map and background. Just like a piece of art, we want to start with the background first and then put all of the focal stuff in the foreground. So map and background first, and then we want to navigate over to this little picture box here, which is going to be your art database. Then you want to check this filter right here in the search, and we're going to go maps, tiles, and textures, since obviously we're building a map right now. So first things first, you want a kind of nice ground. I guess that's all there is to call it. So we want probably a nice vibrant grass to go with a luscious forest. You could try to search something called, something like forest floor, but you really do have to be specific and creative with your searches, because it's not the best search engine, but it is a pretty generous database. So find the grass you want. For me, this grass will be fine. It looks a bit too real, a bit too Modelani, but that's okay. Maybe I'll just adjust the size here so it doesn't seem as as manicured. So obviously you got your size scaling here. You want to size it something where it's not ugly and big loss of quality because it's been stretched. You could stretch it this way if you really want to. Like if you're making a pathway, you're not going to want to go square by square by square. You probably want to go rectangle by rectangle. There is a lot more loss when you don't keep it in its native ratio, but that's okay. So for our use, we're just going to do a tiled background. Pretty much all of these textures are continuous, so they blend in perfectly with one another, just like that. They meet up and it's seamless. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just hitting Control-C as if I was in a word processor or something, and then Control-V. Copy and pasting, copy and pasting. If you want, you can simply right-click and do it. But to expedite things, I'm going to use the hotkeys there. So what I'm just going to do right now is I'm just going to set up a nice little background here by continually copying and pasting, and make sure that it's lined out, because if it is off, you will start to see some seams. So you want to make it as seamless as possible, which is not hard to do. So I'm just going to put the finishing touch on that. Alright, so now we have, I like to work at a 70% zoom. So what I just did there is you just go to the toolbar, you want the magnifying glass, and this will allow you to zoom way out for the bigger maps, and way in. So I like to stay, when I'm a player, I like to keep it at 100 to stay nice and immersed. But as a DM, I find 60 and 70 to be the best map making distances. It is kind of hard to see the grid on this texture, but that's okay. So go back to 70. So now we have our basic, kind of ugly background. Now we need to spice it up. So we're gonna stay in the background, and we're gonna look for some features here. So obviously we're gonna need some trees. So I'll just search up some tree. This is a favorite one I use to kind of frame the image. So kind of give players the sense that they're kind of not boxed in, but in a kind of instanced area, surrounded by trees. So what I'm doing there is I'm just pivoting using this second box, this tail here, just so it doesn't look too cookie cutter. So every other one I'm kind of moving every which direction so it blends more naturally like a forest. And then if I wanted, I could select multiple by holding shift and then just pasting them all down here. That kind of expedites things. Now, when I'm pivoting and moving things, it's snapping to grid. Sometimes you're not going to want to do that. Like right now, I can't put it here because it's snapping to grid. So what you want to do there is just simply hold the Alt key and drag it while holding it. Let go of the mouse, then let go of Alt. And you can move it, you can pivot it in funny angles. You can resize it in weird ways without it snapping. So that's a huge help. And then if you kind of mess it up or you move it somewhere you don't want it to be, you can just hit Control Z, which is undo. So we're going to put that here, and then we're going to want to put some real trees in to kind of fill out the space. So let's find some pine if we can. This guy kind of matches the color scheme, so we'll blow him up. No, he's ugly. Get out of here. Yeah, this is a nice one. So we're going to take that, maybe put a duplicate of that over here, pivot it so it looks a bit different. Maybe throw in a second type of tree just to fill out the space. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll actually keep these trees. That looks nice. Oop. So I'm copying and pasting, and then pivoting a bit so it doesn't look too cookie cutter. I'm going to use press and hold Alt to make it look nice and unique. So we did say that this was going to be kind of a watering hole. So the next thing that we're going to need is a pond. So naturally, to search that, you could also search river, lake even would probably work. And then I do like this one. I think this is my favorites. Oh, it's not. So this is a good lesson. If you love something, just plop a favorite on it, and it'll appear at the top next time you search that term. So look at that. That's nice. So there that is. Maybe I'll kind of pivot it here. All right. So now we're going to naturally want to place down some tokens. So what you want to do is we want to go to this second layer here. We're not going to worry about the GM info overlay today. Don't really use that. But objects and tokens, go back to your database here, and then you're going to want to filter by tokens. And let's put some goblins on this map. Well, I guess I would make that singular. Alright, these guys are nasty looking. So, just like anything else, you simply click and drag. These guys are a bit hard to see, so we're going to zoom in using the magnifying tool. They're kind of awkwardly stretched, but that's okay. Your players will forgive you. And if you really can't live with it, you can always press and hold Alt, rescale them to your desire, and then they'll kind of snap there, but that gets hairy. So, I mean, it really is, you know, these guys kind of look weird because the spear is sticking out there too long. You kind of want to find more squared off tokens like that, and then they look natural. So you just click and drag those. And the last thing that we're going to talk about is the fog of war. And that's simply, you know, hidden areas. So we want to navigate up here. Oh, and one of my players is coming online because I have a session soon. So we're going to navigate here. Go to the tab that we're currently working on. Oh, this is going to be a problem. Okay, I'll name this tutorial. Simply clicking on it. Then we want to go to page settings. So this will let you change your square size, your walking distance, you know, how far each square represents. You really don't need to touch that ever. So you just want to navigate to Fog of War. Boop. And then this becomes dark. Close that toolbar. And you're going to navigate to this eyeball. So this eyeball is the reveal areas. So by default, most of this area will probably be revealed. Let's say that your heroes are coming from the north here. They're going to see most of this. And I like to zoom out again because we're doing DM stuff. So they're going to see most of this. You know, they'll see the pond, they'll see this tree, but they won't see beyond these because their line of sight is broken. So this kind of fog of war represents line of sight. So they'll come in here, and then, you know, if they're players, so let's say that that this guy's a player. If he begins to walk this way, you can cut out what he's seeing as he goes. So, you know, you can switch to the polygon reveal, and then you just click the shape, and it will dynamically know which way you're going with it, and then you just finish it to delete it. So once again, you make a shape, and then you close it, and it cuts it out. So that's really the basics that you need to know. We went over the various layers, map versus background. We went over resizing objects. We went over how to navigate and make a new page. And we went over how to navigate the database and to favorite things. So obviously this is a pretty beginner tutorial, and I'm going to be going into more advanced things later, like macro scripting and all that good stuff. But for now, hopefully you have enough that you can start making your first page and get your, you know, inspire your players with some pretty awesome maps. But looks like I have to go. I got my D&D session starting soon, so happy gaming, and check out pixelpress.com for more awesome content. All right, thanks guys.